Hi friends, it's Lauren Taylor. Thanks for joining me in my craft room today. I'm grateful to have you here. I am finally getting my Halloween video uploaded to my channel. If you watched my last-ish video, 2 videos ago, I think it was my last Fandom Friday video. I'm a bit behind in editing, but it's here and it's exciting because I love Halloween and I'm finally using the mini backpack die set from Popsiclesticks. I really started off this card just as a way to use the backpack, play with it, figure it out, because it was my first time. So I would definitely change the background of my card if I do this card again, kind of thing. But we're just going to have some fun with playing with the dies and playing with these adorable ghost friend images from Sassy Club. So I like coloring ghosts with alcohol marker inks, but instead of a black outline or a gray outline, I use the lavender ink pad from the Sassy Club. It is alcohol marker friendly and it has this blue violet look to it. So I will stamp my ghosts in that color and then use blue violet alcohol markers to color them in. So you can see here, I've stamped 3 of the ghost images, and I'm starting with the darkest shade, which is BV 2.3, and I'm just going around very little around the edges, trying to give my ghost a little bit of shadow. I think it would look really cute if I didn't go all the way to the edge, if I would have left a little bit of white around the edges, but I didn't do that this time, so that would be my recommendation. Something else I'd probably adjust next time around. For the midtone, I'm using BV 2.2, so just going right back over those dark shadows and extending the color out a little bit into more of the white space area. I'm also using the darkest color to color in the eyes and tongue, and I use the midtone to color in the rest of the mouth. And then finally, I'm using BV 2.0, and I'm not even fully coloring in my ghost. I'm still leaving a lot of it white, but just using that as the lightest shade to bring out the color even more. So just adding a little bit more color into that white space. Once I'm done, I wanted to add cheeks, so I'm using R5.3 just to put some cute little pink cheeks on those images. And here is how all 3 of those ghosts turned out. I'm going to go ahead and use my scan and cut to cut out the images, and then I use some charcoal opulent cardstock from Sizzix and die cut all of the pieces I wanted to use from the mini backpack die set, again from Popsiclesticks. And I'm going to add some design to my black cardstock. This is actually just pitch black cardstock from Cardstock Warehouse. And I'm going to bring out the spider web and 2 bat images from the Ghost Friend stamp set. And I'm going to emboss these images onto my 2 black pieces of cardstock here. So I have the shape of the backpack and then the front pocket of the backpack. I'm going to use my anti-static powder so that way I can get some nice clean embossing or embossed images. But I will end up adding splatter, so I probably didn't really need to worry too much about if I had any stray embossing powder, but that's okay. So I'm going to start with adding a bunch of the spider webs around the edge of my backpack as well as the top of the backpack, and then I will also add some on the front pouch part of my backpack as well. Once I'm done adding the spider webs, I'll go ahead and grab the larger of the 2 bats and stamp a bunch of those as well. And then finally, I will stamp the smallest little bat, just filling in the spaces of the backpack and the front pouch. I am going to use a chrome embossing powder. This is a detail embossing powder from Ink on 3. And I just really like the look of the chrome silver on black, and I thought it matched pretty well with that charcoal glitter cardstock you can kind of see in my little Stampin' storage tray. Um, It'll match that pretty well, I think, all the silvery kind of black silver colors that I'm going for. And I'm going to use my heat gun to melt all of that embossing powder down. I also added some heat to the back of my backpack piece because it warped a little bit, so just applying a little more heat, trying to flatten it out. Once it was cool, I'm just using a Swiffer cloth. I actually really need to replace this one. It's getting a bit old now, but I'm using that to pick up excess anti-static powder, especially on black cardstock. It tends to dull out with the embossing or the um, resist powder. So I just wanted to make sure that it still looked a nice vibrant black before I assemble the card together. So to add the splatter, I'm using my Starry Colors watercolor in the white gold. I thought it was the closest to silver as I was going to get in my watercolors, and just went splatter crazy and added a bunch to those two pieces. I'm going to set them aside and let all that splatter dry, but here's a quick look at how shiny and pretty they are. And I'm going to clean up my desk. So now my pieces are dry. I have all of my elements I'm going to glue together, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to create a shaker element at the front, the little backpack pouch, but the more I was looking at Popsiclesticks, her different projects she's made with this die set, the more I wanted to add a shaker. So I'm cutting a piece of acetate to be slightly smaller than my panel. As you can see, I just kind of like adjusted it so it was not quite in the corner, in one of the corners, and then cut as close as I could to the cardstock. And that way it's just a little smaller than the panel, and I don't have to worry about lining up the edges of my acetate to this frame perfectly. There's a little bit of wiggle room. I'm adding my double-sided adhesive tape to the back side of this frame that I cut out of some of the glitter cardstock, and then applying that acetate rectangle right to the back of that frame. I'm going to now add my foam adhesive. This is the 3mm, so the extra thick foam adhesive from scrapbook.com in the 1/8 of an inch foam strips. So I'll go ahead and apply that to all four sides of the frame. Every time I add a new piece, I make sure to butt up the edge and not allow any gaps in my foam adhesive, and that's what's going to keep all of my little shaker elements inside the shaker. I peeled off the release paper from the foam adhesive, and now I'm going to add my sequins. These are actually really old sparkle blends. If you've been following me for a while, you know I love them, and I'm sad that the shop is closed, but I still want to use my sequins and use my stash. So I'm just picking some Halloween looking themed sequins for my stash. So black and white, a little bit of green, and that lavender purple to tie in with my ghosts. Just having some fun with what I have. Next, I decided to put this little ghost image into my shaker. So I'm going to add my liquid adhesive to the back, and I'm going to add it to my black embossed panel, making sure my bats are facing the right way. I wish I would have lowered him a little bit. I think I put him too high for what I was imagining my card, but it still turns out really nice. I'm going to make sure I have all of my sequins off the edges of my foam adhesive. Nothing is sticking to the foam adhesive, and then sandwich that shaker closed. And look how cute he is inside of that little shaker window. It looks so fun, especially with that facial expression. So now I'm going to work on building up the rest of my mini backpack. I'm going to first add in the rest of the details onto this front pouch. So I know that Popsiclesticks, she usually lowers her zipper a bit, so there's some of the pouch showing above the zipper. But like I said, I think my ghost was a little too high and I didn't want to cover him. So I'm going to apply this piece that has the zipper and then two strips where you'll add in more details right up to the edge of the pouch, which is fine. I think it still looks really good. You still get that it's a zipper. And then I'm adding these two strips. So this is one die, but I cut it twice to add some details around the zipper. So it looks like the fabric around a zipper. So I'll put those in place. And then I love these little details for the tassel and the zipper pull. So there's two layers to the tassel. I just did black on black, but I like that you could do two tones here. And then there's this little tiny ring. I got distracted by the backpack kind of plate where the label that this backpack is inspired from would be. So I glued those together. I also glued on the top of my backpack the little kind of handle part. I don't know my backpack anatomy, so the handle of the backpack. And so then now I remembered to go back to my zipper stuff. So I'm adding the little ring onto the tassel and I'm folding the tassel piece through the ring. I added just a little tiny glue on that little skinny part and I'm just holding it closed and look, it like moves around the ring. It's so cute. It's interactive. I love it. And then the zipper pull part also has a long strip. So I'm going to loop on the pull and the tassel, and I'm going to do the same thing. So just kind of bend that skinny piece through the two openings in my zipper or zipper pull and the tassel. And I'm squeezing that closed, making sure that that piece is stuck. And I love that you can still like move the tassel and zipper pull around. It's so cute. I added some foam adhesive behind that piece and attached it to where the zipper is on the backpack and then glued on the top part of the zipper. And there you can see that cute little pouch. It's looking so fun. And I'm going to add adhesive to the back of this shaker part now, and I'll get that glued onto the backpack. So that will get the shaker or the front pouch of the backpack onto the large part of the backpack. And then the last little element to glue on is where the backpack label is. You could see that it's right above my backpack. So I'm going to use my ghost as a placement of where I want to glue it. I added some adhesive to the back and then I'm doing my best to get it centered and straight by using the grid of my glass board. After that, I will add on my two ghosts, which I'm going to use some foam adhesive. So applied that foam behind my two. So I started with the left here and then added it to the ghost on the right, and that finishes up the backpack. I want to put it on a card base, although I think this would be so cute if I would have done a shaped card. But I am going to use some new dies coming soon from Popsiclesticks. This is a 5 by 6.5 background, so a little smaller than a 5 by 7, but it fits this backpack perfectly. I can't wait till she releases this in the shop. So thank you so much to Popsiclesticks Davina for sending me these products. I love everything she does. So I think it's going to fit this backpack just perfectly. So I added a bunch of adhesive to the backpack and I'm going to go ahead and glue that to the center of this panel. I'm also going to add a few sequins, some extra sequins from my shaker bits just around the background, and I got this adhered onto a 5 by 6.5 card base. Oh, just kidding. I'm going to add my sentiments, but I will add it to the card base and the sequins off camera. This video was just getting long and I was just trying to fill in the empty areas around the backpack. That's probably what, like I said, what I would change in the future. I think I would have used maybe a pattern paper or just something with a little more interest than adding a bunch of sequins. So I stamped 2 sentiments on some banner dies from the mini Slimline stitch layer set from Popsiclesticks, and I used the same lavender ink, and I did the 2 sentiments that were my favorite from the set that says "You are fabulous" and "Can I keep you?", which if you've seen this movie from the 90s, early 2000s, you definitely know that line. And that will finish off my really big card and adorable backpack with these adorable friendly ghosts on them. I love the shaker in the front. I hope you had fun with me today as I experimented and played with this die set. I'll definitely be making more backpack cards in the future. Let me know what you think and what would be your favorite character on a mini backpack in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll click like, and if you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe and come back. As always, you can find everything I use down below in the description box. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye!